What's up, Vinyl Community? It's your boy Chris coming at you live, as always, from the Man Cave for the first time ever. Special edition, my first ever guest here from the Man Cave via the wonderful technology of the Zoom app. Say hey, Mike.
Greetings, y'all.
That's my boy Mike at mikeguitarplayer07. You guys may or may not be aware, but I actually appeared via the same technology on a video of his shot last night and launched earlier today. So if you haven't taken a look at that, then jump on it. Yeah, you need to go on over there and check over that. Me and my boy had a good time. Probably talked about 3 hours, had about an hour of content that we actually showed you guys. The other 2 hours is probably NFSW. So, but anyway, what's up, Mike? How you doing tonight, brother?
Doing good. I got the tunes. I got the brews. We rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I've got a margarita, but my wife made it for me. Does that count?
Yeah, it counts.
Mm.
Still got booze in it.
It's a tasty margarita. Might be the fruitiest you've ever seen me, but hey, it's a tasty margarita. So so I figured for the most part, you and I, first of all, I would like. It's easy to use this as escapism and to go through the entire thing to where we don't mention everything that's going on in the world and everything like that. But for those of my viewers and whatnot who would want to know how it is you're doing, might want to know how your family's doing, might want to know how everything's proceeding in your part of the world, I feel like that's actually also helping people. So how are you doing during this whole crisis? How is your family doing? What steps are you guys taking? How's things going in New Jersey, my brother?
Overall, well, I'm just doing my college thing. I was unemployed before. I'm just as unemployed now. I was just doing my internship, which was unpaid. My parents are still employed, just working from home. We have a normal supply of toilet paper, not the excess amount that everybody else is doing. My sister's home now, so because she went to college 2.5 hours away, so she's home all the time. So we get to see her a little bit more, which is nice. We're all stuck at home, and we're just making the best of everything. How about South Carolina?
Well, I mean, you know this about me, my brother. I have been deemed by the state of South Carolina to be an essential worker. So nothing has really changed about my life other than that when I'm off, I can't go do anything. So I've been like earlier today, I put on my nicest new pair of Jordan 1s to go grocery shopping. I did that because it's like, if I don't do that, then when am I ever going to get to wear these damn things? I got them a couple of weeks ago, and it's like they're just sitting there stalking me, waiting to be worn somewhere where I can look cool. And it's like, now nobody at Publix, I don't know if you're aware of Publix in New Jersey.
Yep, I am.
Okay, cool. Nobody at Publix gives a damn about your Jordan 1s right now. Everybody's looking for toilet paper, Lysol wipes, Clorox, hand sanitizer. They could give a shit. It could literally be Michael Jordan wearing the Jordan 1s, and they still wouldn't give a shit. It could be Michael Jordan wearing the Jordan 1s, handing out autographed 1985 rookie cards, and they still wouldn't give a shit. It's like, where's the toilet paper? Where's the Lysol? Where's the Clorox? Get out of my way, you bald-headed bastard. What's wrong with you? That's, yeah, so.
Wow.
But anyway, I know. You know me, script anything. But so I've been wearing $200 sneakers to take out the trash. I have. I've worn $200 sneakers to shoot skeets with my dad and brother. For those of you who aren't familiar with what shooting skeets is, it's when you grab shotguns, go to the backyard, and you shoot flying clay targets. For some of those who may not be familiar with the jargon, because I understand that's not universal. But right. Either way about it, that's getting off on the deep end, but I felt like it was relevant. I hope you guys are all taking care no matter where you are in the world. Somebody actually DM'd me from Nova Scotia, which I felt was awesome earlier today on Instagram, just to tell me that they enjoyed my videos and that they hoped I was doing well. So that was cool. That's shit like that really keeps me wanting to do this. So that's awesome. So hopefully they'll see this video as well. So for this one, I had thought, my brother, quick little vinyl community like interview, if you will. Like you'd be like my first interview. Maybe you and I'll kind of like backtrack a little bit, because I'm sure we will, because we always freaking do. As you who've seen our video from last night on your channel might know. But there are 10 questions that I came up with. I may or may not ask all of them. We'll see. We'll see where we go from there, and we'll play it loose. But some of the questions I know the answers to, and that I just think that everybody else would enjoy the answers to. But hey, let's just, first off, how'd you get into vinyl, my dude? How'd you get into it?
All right, so vinyl itself is a very like thin line, because I'm not 100% sure exactly how it started. However, I've always loved music from a young age. So like in like first or second grade, we were running laps around in gym class like you tend to do at that age. You like start your daily warm up running around laps with music. They played Pat Benatar's "Hit Me With Your Best Shot" or some cover of the song. Either way, it was a version of Pat Benatar's "Hit Me With Your Best Shot," and I loved that song.
Far away. All right, go ahead.
Yep, you already know. And so that day, I go to my mom and I'm like, I want to hear this song. So she just happened to have the Best Shots CD and went from there. From a very young age, my parents discovered that I loved music. So they got me piano lessons, all that. So fast forward to 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I got my very first Target gift card. I bought 2 CDs that day. I bought Craig Morgan's "Little Bit of Life" and Bon Jovi's "Crossroads."
Okay, cool. I'm familiar with both. Awesome.
Now, so those were the very first CDs I ever purchased. Now, fast forward a couple more years. So that was like 6th, 7th grade. So we're now officially in 7th, 8th grade territory now. So I started learning guitar. I started learning about music further. I started discovering Kiss, Led Zeppelin, Rush, all these classics and prog rock and all that. So I guess the very first exposure to vinyl records was my guitar teacher had Zeppelin 4 hanging just with the gatefold open from 2 pins. And I think that was my very first exposure to what a vinyl record is. And then it kind of went further and further. Then my parents had the vinyl records in their collection that I got to expose to. I got 3 records at a garage sale that I purchased. I bought U2's Joshua Tree, 80s reissue of Dark Side of the Moon, and Michael Jackson's Thriller. This was in 2009, right after he died. I made a fool out of myself. I was like, oh my God, Michael Jackson's Thriller. This ought to be worth so much, because he had just died and it was a popular album. So I was like, this thing's worth millions. I mean, silly sound to me. Little did I know that that's worth absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Because of how many there's out there, and it's one of the most successful albums of all time, and it's not autographed, so who cares? So really, that's kind of my first exposures to records. And then I was talking to people in middle school about it. My teachers and all this stuff started to give me records. So like I was given, Chicago 2 that we saw in my video yesterday. That Elton John's Caribou I was given. I got a pretty beaten copy of the Monkees' second album, More of the Monkees. And it just kind of went on from there. And then the rest is kind of history.
Oh man, that's awesome. I wish I could have had that same kind of like relationship or whatnot with classmates and teachers and whatnot coming up through school. In the 90s and the early 2000s, when I was finishing up school, was I think I've told you before, I graduated high school 2003.
Mm-hmm.
So most of my schooling experience was in the 90s, mid to late 90s. So people didn't give a damn about vinyl. Their vinyl collections had been emptied out, sold off, Goodwilled off, everything like that. They've been replaced with CDs. They've been replaced with and so it was just one of those things where I didn't know anybody that was into vinyl. The only vinyl experience that I'd ever had in my entire life was from my parents. And that even they had given up on their vinyl, as I've told you before, sold off all their equipment and everything, and just kept the records. So did your parents listen to vinyl around you when you were coming up, or did you just kind of get into that all together?
So the very first experience, the short answer is no. However, one of the very earliest exposures to music that I remember is not in this house, because in our old house we had a finished basement. As we could tell, this is not finished. And my dad had my mom's stereo cabinet, stereo system that she had when she was a kid and in college, and that was this main setup that was used there. Or it was my dad's, I don't remember. It was one of their stereo systems either way. And my dad pulled out some of his 45s in his 45 box here. Now, he didn't have a lot of vinyl records and all that. He had mainly CDs. However, the 45s he has are cool, in my opinion. And I remember him playing Sammy Davis Jr.'s The Candyman 45 all the time for us. And by us, I mean me and my sister. And Little Willie by Sweet. To this day, I will never get sick of those songs. Candyman is a little cheesy for most people, I understand. However, I will never get sick of either of those tunes because that was some of the very first exposure to music. Due to my affiliation and love of the song Little Willie, I somewhere between ages 4 and age 7 for one of my birthdays or Christmas or Easter, one of those holidays, I got an Entertainment Weekly CD 1973 that has the song Little Willie on it. And on top of the other 1973 classics like the OJ's Love Train, Cisco Kid by War, other great tunes, Tie That Little Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree, Dawn featuring Tony Orlando, all those hits. And that was one of my very first CDs on top of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie soundtrack from 2004.
Well, I mean, SpongeBob, Abbey Road. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, that's like accepted jargon. SpongeBob way up here, Abbey Road. I mean, come on. All right, I hope everybody knows I'm kidding. All right, anyway.
Yeah, I didn't discover the Beatles until around 5th or 6th grade. But, yeah, that's pretty much my only vinyl exposure until later on in life. And even at that time, I didn't know it was vinyl records. It wasn't until my parents pulled out their collections and what they had. And then I was like, oh, I remember that from when I was a kid. That was my very first exposure to vinyl records.
Right. But yeah, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a household where my parents listened to vinyl, mostly 45s. And by my parents, meaning my mother, because my dad was always at work. I know you know the story. So mostly 45s. I still have every single one of them, and I'm so proud of them. I cherish them, and I've got so many memories attached to them. But it just got to the point where eventually, just like everybody else, they assumed that vinyl and everything was dead. So they sold all their equipment, all their stereo equipment, all their turntables, everything, but kept their records, which was something that was always interesting to me. And then when I asked them about it years later, when they got ready to give me their collection, it was, so you guys kept these with no means to play them. Why? And they were like, well, we kept them because we had memories attached to them. Like we could remember listening to Fleetwood Mac's Rumors together, as we were dating. And we could remember listening to, as you and I have talked about numerous times, Wings Over America. We could remember listening to all of these, especially, with you coming up and you're little and you enjoying it and everything. And so we never wanted to part with them. And I'm like, okay, well, great. And they're like, well, we couldn't be more honored that, we had one of our children actually be interested in them. And so they're yours. And I'm like, okay, well, they're never going anywhere. They've got a home forever. So that's great. And can you remember the first record that you ever bought with your own money?
Oh, I just mentioned that shortly. The U2 Joshua Tree, the Dark Side, and Michael Jackson's Thriller. Now I want to go back for a moment based on what you just were talking about shortly. You're the reason I bought this, to be honest. You're the reason I have this. And it has the original poster. It has all 3 albums. It plays great. It's not one I listen to all the time because it's a 3-hour-long album, but
gotta put some time.
But it's a good one. Now, I want to go back a little bit more because even though I was not exposed to records music-wise from a young age, CDs I was. Because that's what my parents had mainly. My dad had a couple 45s, a couple records. My mom had records, no 45s. But then they both had like 200, 300 some CDs combined, and both got rid of the doubles, which breaks my heart to this day, but they didn't know a kid of theirs would want them one day. So, my earliest exposures to music was every Christmas, I would hear Holiday Sing Along with Mitch. And by Mitch, I mean Mitch Miller and a gang. And it would usually be Johnny Mathis's Merry Christmas as well would be played. Those were the main ones. And then every summer I would hear Songs You Know by Heart by Jimmy Buffett. I know you don't like Jimmy Buffett, but
Not my favorite. No, but he's very successful. He's a very successful businessman. I'll give him that.
but I heard that every year. Eagles' Greatest Hits Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Yes.
Kansas' Greatest Hits, Journey's Greatest Hits, and Clint Black's Greatest Hits. And then every once in a while they would throw in what's that?
Killing me. Sorry, I'm singing Clint Black. My bad.
Oh. And they also threw in Dixie Chicks' Fly every once in a while. But pretty much, I was exposed to the music from a very young age, and
I freaking love the Dixie Chicks.
Oh, me too.
Believe it or not, it's actually not a very you might believe it. I don't know. I've been the one who's actually I've been the one who's actually been living down here. But saying you love the Dixie Chicks is not a very popular opinion from a Southern white man in this day and age. Ever since the whole Bush administration and yada 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 yada. But I'm not one who really gives a shit about someone's political affiliations. It doesn't matter to me. I like their music. That was enough for me. It didn't matter whether or not I agreed or disagreed with their political affiliations. But we won't go into all that.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to do this video to escape from that bullshit. So anyway.
But yeah, so pretty much I still have the original Mitch Miller and Eagles CD that my dad made copies of for me back in the day, so I could have my own copies.
Yeah, that's awesome. My dad would have never known how to make a copy of anything. I made copies of my dad. Are you kidding? I actually had a side hustle from the time I was 14 on. I may or may not have told you or may not have discussed in former YouTube videos, but I started working on when I was 14. You know this. People who've subscribed to me long enough know this. So I had my own money in my pocket from the time I was 14, and it never stopped. And I've always loved music. And my main splurge to buy, even all the way back to when I was 14, 21 years ago, was always music. So, but back then, the difference is back then it was CDs. Mm-hmm. But if there was people used to, because I bought so many CDs, my friends didn't have the means to have all those CDs because they didn't have their own money because they weren't working, lazy asses, and B, because their parents weren't giving it to them, so they always wanted to borrow my CDs, and I was like, hell no, these are mine. And then after a while, it was like, hey, I've got a side hustle here. So I would buy all those recordable CDs, and I would buy every CD that I thought would be popular, and I would record it 4 or 5 times, and I would carry my backpack along and sell those bitches for $3 a piece.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know if you knew that or not. But so my book bag, everybody thought it was full of school books. You kidding me? I never knew where my school books were until I had to look for them at the end of the year to avoid fees. My book bag was full of CDs. And so, and to be honest with you, because of that, it's like, okay, well, I knew the girls were going to want to buy the Backstreet Boys CDs. So I would buy the Backstreet Boys CD. And I knew the girls were going to want NSYNC. So I bought the NSYNC CDs. And because of that, I was like, well, hell, I listened to them. And I was like, well, shit, this ain't that bad. I don't know if I'll ever tell my homeboys that, but this shit ain't that bad. Right, and I would kind of lean with it a little bit and rock with it, and I enjoyed it, and it was to this day I still enjoy it. So go figure. So that's one of the things that I've just picked up trying to earn a little bit of side cash, and ended up actually really enjoying, and still kind of do to this day is an escape, if you will. So hey, who'd ever know?
I mean, as I said, CDs were the start for me too, with Bon Jovi and Craig Morgan, and then I was CDs for the longest time, and then within the past. Even though I've been collecting since 2009, we're talking 11 years almost at this point. We were, vinyl records I've been serious about more so within the past 4 years than anything else. But I mean, I've been having records for that long. And then cassettes came into the party. And then now I have even some 8 tracks.
Right. Yeah. I got to tell you, I don't own the 8 tracks.
If they weren't given to me, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I don't own any 8 tracks, but hey, no knocking. It's all good. It's all music, and I don't care what format it comes in. It's all great.
It's really cool what I have here. It's cool, and I was given an 8-track player with it. I've only seen 8 tracks in the wild, at one store, so I can't really buy them. I have to buy them online, if anything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. can you remember the first record store you bought from? The first record store that you bought a record?
Yeah, well, not including Target, but like, no.
I'm talking about an actual record store here.
Yeah, we're talking an actual record store. Yes, I do.
Hoping for a name drop.
No, I'll give the name drop. It's a Spin Me Around Records. It was in Phillipsburg, New Jersey at the time, but within this past year, they moved to a location in Pennsylvania, and I'm drawing a blank as to what that location is. I know it's somewhere on the border of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. But yeah, I had a bunch of records that I didn't want, brought them in for trade, got X amount of money for them, grabbed a couple CDs, grabbed a couple vinyl records, and away I went. Unfortunately, the only thing I remember grabbing from there is Elvis's Golden Hits on CD. I know I grabbed other vinyl records and other CDs, but I just can't remember what they were.
Right. Well, I mean, hey, I have a hard time remembering a lot of times what the first things I bought from anywhere are too, but so I get it. But any opportunity that I could get to maybe shout out a local business for you. But you said they moved to Philly or what?
No, Philly would be significant. It would be 2.5 hours away from where they were before.
Like Pittsburgh?
Nah, I don't know exactly where they were. It's not like one of the big name towns.
Yeah.
It, at least for people like you and me who are not familiar with Pennsylvania, it's one of those you have to look up what the place is.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Philly and Pittsburgh, and that's it. So yeah, and everything, every geographical content that I get is contingent with how they are located in terms of Philly and Pittsburgh. So yeah.
Yeah, well, Philadelphia is about 2.5 hours, 3 hours away from me, and Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, I think, is like 4 or 5 hours away from me.
Yeah, they're completely opposite sides of the state. I don't think a lot of people understand that, but yeah.
Don't, but yeah.
All right, well, cool. Who got you into vinyl? Who would be, if you had to say your number one influence as to why it is you collect vinyl and why it is you love vinyl, if you had to pick one primary influence as to why it is you are where you are and who you are now, who would you pick? I think I know the answer.
Well, I'm going to answer this in 2 parts because there's one person who's a bigger influence. However, the very beginnings would be my father, because he bought one of those cheap Ion turntables for like $60 to $100 or whatever that you can convert records to CD or digitally. And that was my first experience of being able to play the records that he had given me, the few that my teachers had given me, and have exposure to records. However, even though my dad did have a significant influence on how my musical taste is, as I named some artists before, and also his favorite band is Van Halen, so I obviously have that too. And my mom had an influence too. I mean,
Melinda Murphy would absolutely approve of that choice.
What's that?
Melinda Murphy would approve of that favorite band choice.
Yes, she would. And
if you're watching, we love you.
And yeah, my mom didn't have too much of an influence on this regard, but she did introduce me to Billy Joel and Bon Jovi and got me into them too. But really, the biggest musical influence on my life is my grandfather, which is what I assume you thought was the answer.
Absolutely.
And
well, I didn't think that was the. I didn't think that he was the answer as to what got you into it, but I had a feeling that was the answer as to what kept you into it. Yeah, I had a feeling that was the getting you into it was the part that I was interested in, because I felt like I already knew the answer to what it is that has kept you into it. So because I know about your affinity for your grandfather, my man. So
and it's actually interesting because when we got that record player, my grandfather got caught wind and brought over 3 records one day during one of our family get-togethers and all that, and was like, I'd like to see how that works. I'm very interested. And I would also be curious if he could convert these to CD for me. So he brought over that day, only 2 of them I could remember offhand, but one of them was David Allan Coe's Rides Again, which I love that album. And the other one was Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band's The Distance. He probably brought other things over too, but those were the 2 I remember that he brought over that day. And yeah.
That's awesome. Very few people in my family have ever been into vinyl or into vinyl now. So I have to connect with guys like you uh, to stay within, to stay in contact with my people, if you will. So the next question is designed to kind of sort of put you on the spot a little bit and make you think a little bit, knock you back on your heels. What is your favorite find ever from an actual brick and mortar record store?
Actual brick and mortar record store.
Yeah, not Discogs, not eBay, but an actual.
Not anything like that. Okay. Well, give me a second. I got to actually look at these records here now.
There you go. Oh, yeah, this is designed to put you on the spot a little bit, so I love it.
Because I have a couple things in mind. However,
show us all of them. Our viewers would love to see the records.
I have to pull out a couple here.
Go ahead, bro. Grab them. Because I feel like you and I have been jamming around for like 25, 30 minutes, and our viewers haven't seen any records yet. So I know they'd love to see some.
Oh, no, I completely get it. So, okay, there's these two. Where's the other one? Okay, here's this one. And Chris, one or two of these may even surprise you, if I'm being honest. So,
see.
All right, so there's this one. And I think I'm going to pull one more, but I can't remember what. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Actually, I got two more to pull out. I lied. All right, now these are in no particular order.
All right, no worries. Show us some records, man.
All right. So the first one is Act 1 from Joe's Garage by Frank Zappa.
Yeah. Awesome.
I had gotten into Frank Zappa actually a year ago at this point. Fell in love with this album. I knew, of course, general ones like Shake Your Booty, Overnight Sensation, Apostrophe, and a handful of others. But this one took me away. And this was, I was Spotifying it at the time because that's the only way I was able to get this album. I finally found all 3 acts on vinyl record and all 3 acts on CD. But this got me hooked on that. So that was one of my favorite finds.
Where did you find it at? Do you remember where you found that record at?
Yeah, this one was got at crap, now I'm drawing a blank. It's a place in Franklin, New Jersey. Hold on. I'm gonna get this in a moment. They sell retro video games, they sell old memorabilia. David Newton, if you're familiar with his channel, would absolutely love it there because he has all these like action figures of like horror movie things and all that. Crap, I'm drawing a blank. We'll get back to it if I remember it. But yeah, cool. I'm drawing a blank. But the place is in Franklin, New Jersey.
Yeah, I know I have several viewers from the state of New Jersey, so that's why it's important for me for you to shout these places out. So, but yeah, that's why
I want to see if I could
You're totally looking it up.
I am because this is driving me nuts. Okay, got it. Pandora's Box in Franklin, New Jersey.
That sounds like the name of a sex toy store, but I'm Gucci. I mean, hey, why not? No better way to isolate yourself, you guys, during these quarantine times than by visiting Pandora's Box. They'll have all your keys to your wildest dreams and fantasies. Okay, all right, back to you, Mike.
Okay. Another one that really excited me when I found it, I wasn't actually actively looking for this. I was just going through the Broadway and general soundtracks that they had at Spin Me Round, talking about them again.
Yeah, I followed those guys on this.
Yeah, and I found a promotional copy of the Little Shop of Horrors soundtrack.
Oh, cool!
This excited me beyond belief. It's one of my favorite.
I don't see that cover variant very often for that one. That's awesome.
Nope, this is the original version.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And yeah, this really excited me. This has one of my favorite Broadway soundtracks on it. So
cool beans, man. That's awesome.
There's that. My first Horace Silver album. This was another Spin Me Round. Most of these are from Spin Me Round.
God bless you, Spin Me Round. That's a great album.
Yeah, at the time, this was the most expensive record I had ever purchased. This is a true first pressing of this album. However, it's not in the best of shape. I thought, oh, it's deep groove, so it's going to play a little bit better even with the surface marks on it. Nope.
Does it
It could be
skip?
the what's that?
Does it skip?
Yeah.
Ah,
So,
okay.
it could have been the turntable and the stylus I was using too. But I don't know. But I got this one on CD too, so it's not like I'm losing too much rather than the amount I spent on it. But
The hell of an album to own on vinyl, though. So, hey, if nothing else, it's bragging rights.
yes. Now, obviously, we know I just got an original mono pressing of this album, but at the time I was ecstatic to get the 70s reissue of Elvis's debut. So that was another spin me around one. Actually,
Yeah, for those of you who don't know who Elvis Presley is, he's this little known indie artist, if you will. He's little known. He's very avant-garde, if you will. Nobody knows who he is. Used to tour the small club, or everybody knows who Elvis Presley is. Anyway.
yeah. I just had to grab another one because I just thought of this now, and I was just like, how could I forget to mention this artist? So, all right. Going back on the Broadway train, I know people who watch my channel, so I assume you know this, Chris, already, but my favorite Broadway soundtrack and favorite Broadway show is Phantom of the Opera, so I was ecstatic to find this.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's that. Now, this is the second pressing I learned, even after I made an ass of myself by telling you I got an original first pressing. But second pressing, and I got this for $18 at the Princeton Record Exchange.
Dude, that's $18 for a second press. Are you freaking killing me? So that's to give that a little context. I haven't had a chance to show this off in one of my videos just yet, but Mike did get a sneak peek of it last night when we were shooting the shit before we filmed his video. But that's my very first press. That's my first mono that I got earlier this week. I haven't even had a chance to throw it on the table yet. So that's first by second, you guys looking at it. So that's a little bit of jazz greatness for you guys. But any way you slice it, splat out. You guys know how I roll. Go ahead, Mike, show it to them.
Splat out.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's how they like it.
But even on Discogs, the second pressing goes as high as $500 for the second pressing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you're $18. I don't know. The person who priced that might have, been dropping acid all day or some shit, because that's I can't even begin to tell you what kind of steal that is. So,
yeah,
congrats with you on that, dude. That's an awesome record.
Absolutely. And then this was one of many successful finds by this artist in recent months before everything went down. Johnny Cash sings Songs of Our Soil. This is an original stereo press on a 6i Columbia label. I believe this was $6 at Grace Records in Arizona. I'm forgetting the name of the town at the moment, but Grace Records in Arizona, there's only one of them. So,
right. Yeah, that's awesome. As I've told you many times, it's always kind of like surprised me a little bit because Johnny Cash records are very easy to come by in my neck of the woods, as I've told you so many times. But to speak, to guys from the north and from the Midwest and from the Northwest, not quite as easy. So it's one of those things where it like blows my mind when like people are like, hey, I've been on the lookout for this Johnny Cash album, have you seen it? And I'm like every time I go to the record store. So so it just always blows my mind. I've been able to like send a lot of people some of these records over the years and then have them be like, oh my God, thank you so much. I don't never without you. And I'm like, first of all, you're welcome. Second of all, oh, okay. I see it all the time. Like, I didn't think I was doing a major deed at all. Like, a record cost me $5, but yeah. And then they're like, hey, well, how much do I owe you? I'm like, nothing. Honestly, it wasn't a big deal to me, but it's just amazing to me. One of the things, and I know several friends of mine have always discussed, it's amazing to me how regional vinyl and music in general can be.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, like you're going to have a hard time finding new wave and punk down here where I am in the South. And you have a hard time finding jazz down here where I'm at in the South. Whereas I imagine where you are, you have a pretty easy time finding punk and you're going to have a pretty easy time finding jazz. and maybe even new wave. And classic rock is universal. You're gonna find classic rock everywhere. But like metal, I mean, there's just it's amazing to me. It's always been amazing to me how regional vinyl can be. It's always kind of like on my mind a little bit.
I was actually surprised at the time, but now that I look back at where I am in Phoenix, in Arizona, in the area of Phoenix, it wasn't in Phoenix, but it was in that general area of Arizona, that section. At first, I was like, "Wow, I'm finding all these Johnny Cash things." Then I was like, "Well, I am in the desert, so I guess they do have this. There is the cacti and all that, so I guess it kind of makes sense." But at the time, I was so confused, and I was like, "I'm not in Mississippi," but
right. For the record, I've never been to Mississippi.
okay, I have.
Oh, you've been to Mississippi?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I went to Mississippi. I was in Mississippi the week before Hurricane Katrina hit.
Oh, cool. Uh-huh. Oh, well, not cool, but you get what I mean.
Right.
All right.
Jazz, I definitely could find good jazz up here. I haven't been to any record stores really in New York City. I was at one once. I forget the name of it at the moment, but I do have a business card if I ever want to discover it again. Yeah, I wasn't into jazz at that time. That's where I found my Mannheim Steamroller Fresh Air 3 album, and I was ecstatic that I found a Mannheim Steamroller album. So, well,
you and I are going to do that big New York City jazz dig one of these days when I'm able to come up and visit you your way, brother. Maybe next spring or summer. You and I had talked about it. We were thinking about maybe this spring or summer, but that Rona has its ways. So maybe next spring or next summer things will be a little bit more back to normal, and we'll see about going from there. But we'll go buy all the damn jazz you want and watch all the damn live jazz you want. So that'll be awesome. What would you say is your favorite record store? If you had to pick one, what's your favorite record store?
That's a pretty hard tie between two of them.
Okay, well, name them both then, buddy.
The Princeton Record Exchange in Princeton, New Jersey.
I knew that one.
And Station One Records and Books in Pompton Lakes, New Jersey.
Yep. Station One boys, I know for a fact, both the Station One guys, I know for a fact, follow my channel. So what's up, Station One guys? Hope you guys are doing great. Hope everything's hanging in. Hope you guys are able to keep it going. And I love you guys, and I just wish that I was wearing one of your Station One shirts that you guys have been so polite and friendly to send me. So, but hey, big ups to you guys. Hope you guys are hanging in there.
Yeah, Joe knows who I am. I don't think Dave knows who I am, but Joe does.
Right. Yeah. Those guys follow me on YouTube. They're friends of mine on Instagram, the whole nine. I've bought from the shop. I've never physically met them, but I have 3 Station One Books Vinyl T-shirts, and I've never actually physically been there. So it's just one of those things. But I got to make it happen. But
when you're up here, I'll make it happen.
Oh yeah, we're going, and I'll have to reintroduce myself, and then hopefully they'll immediately know who I am once I get there. So we'll see.
We'll throw them off. We'll shave your beard.
No, you will not shave my beard, sir. You see, have you noticed that it's been trimmed lately?
I did.
Yeah. Well.
What about my stash? You like my George Harrison stash?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that George Harrison stash. But the thing about Dat Rona is Dat Rona put all of the barber shops and everything out of business. So all the wives and girlfriends and mothers in the country became their sons, husbands, and boyfriends' official barbers, if you will. So my wife cut my hair and trimmed my beard last weekend. And she was so terrified to trim my beard because she was like, what if I cut it too short? I said, I don't give a shit. I'll grow it back. Just don't cut it off. And I don't know what to tell you. I manifest hair. I'm a hairy individual. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you don't cut it off, we're good. I'm not one of those guys that takes forever to grow something, so we're good.
Yeah.
And she kept every 10 seconds, kept screenshotting. Is that good? Is that good? Is that good? So I tell you what, you just get it to the length you like it and leave it there, and we're good.
Yeah, and my dad became my barber.
Right. And so she got it to here. She cut that, and I was like, okay, that's fine. If I don't like it, it's going to grow back. It doesn't matter. And my wife was like, my number one fear is that you'll like what I did enough to where you'll expect me to do it full time and won't go back to the bar. I'm like, honey, there's no chance of that. And this is funny. She goes, why is there no chance of that? I said, because my barber can do it in 15 minutes. And it's a joke. It's just a dig amongst me and my wife, because it took my wife like an hour to do this, and that's without waiting on any other customers. But she was just wanting to make sure she didn't mess it up. We had the time, so why not? But I just figured I'd take a quick little dig at her real quick, and she was just like, oh, fuck you. And yeah, anyway. But yeah, anyway. So this was a question that I thought would ask you. Favorite VCLT ever? Or if you know, 1, 2, 3 of them, however many, whatever sticks out to you.
There's 3 VCLT packages that stick out to me. And this is not to bash anybody else who sent me VCLTs. I don't like playing favorites. However, of the VCLTs I've received, these are things that first either blew my mind when I saw them, or I've just listened to so much more than any other records in my literal collection recently since I've received them. So okay. I obviously am appreciative and love every single VCLT I've gotten for its own rhyme and reason. However, these are the 3 that stood out first. And I'll give these channels some shout-outs at the same time.
Here you go. Do that.
Package 1, in no particular order. Package 1 was from a channel by the name of Rachel's Records. She is a big Beatles connoisseur and everything 60s style. She loves the mamas and the papas and all that stuff. And this past summer, she sent me a VCLT. It had George Harrison's Dark Horse, a UK press of it, George Harrison's I Got My Mind Set on You, the single of John Lennon's Imagine, and I believe there was one other record in there that I'm forgetting at the moment. However, that was VCLT 1, and that was my kickoff to my affiliation and love of George Harrison, and I haven't backtracked since.
Right.
Dark Horse is easily my favorite George Harrison album.
Oh, wow. Even more so than All Things Must Pass?
Yes. All Things Must Pass is a very close second, but Dark Horse, easily my favorite.
I would put Dark Horse as number 2 for me.
Okay. All Things Must Pass is first for you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I would agree with you. Close enough.
Yeah, they're so close. It's but I think due to the fact that it was my first George Harrison album, I think that's why Dark Horse is first. But also, I freaking love the song "Ding Dong, Ding Dong, Bum 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 Bum."
Right.
But yeah. So VCLT package 1, and also when I got I Got My Mind Set on You 45. That's one of my most played 45s of my entire collection at this point.
Right.
That and the second package I'm about to mention that was from Melinda Murphy. This package featured 145 and 112-inch LP. The 45 was Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 with one of my turns on the B-side.
Another brick in the wall.
Exactly. And it's actually interesting because she got a copy of that 45. She got a copy of that 45 in her collection with the original picture sleeve and all that stuff. And I commented, there was a time where me and my friend both saw it in a record store, but he grabbed it quicker than me, and I was jealous. He had everything just like Melinda's did, but I was like, wow, I had a close call of getting that 45 but never gotten. She said that she would keep an eye out for me, and a couple months later, it showed up at my doorstep unexpectedly and very appreciated. And also the other album that showed up at my doorstep in that box was Warren's Cherry Pie, the newest pressing on Red Wax.
I remember you doing the video about that. Yeah, I remember that now. Now that comes back to me now. Yeah.
And that is my favorite Warren album. Even though I love the song Cherry Pie, there are so many other great songs on that.
Warren's Cherry Pie, one of the all-time stripper anthems of all time.
Yeah, when you're right, you're right. But let me pull this out. Warren's Cherry Pie. But I mean, I'm telling you, Uncle Tom's Cabin is freaking fantastic. I Saw Red, fantastic. Love in Stereo.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually think that the song Cherry Pie actually takes away from the content of the rest of the album, to be completely honest with you, because I feel like the content for most of the rest of the album it's pretty good, pretty serious, pretty solid rock and roll. And then Cherry Pie is that hit that they threw out there, and Lord knows they made a hit. Yeah. But unfortunately, for the comment that I just made a minute ago, it's been associated with naked chicks and strip clubs. I mean, let's just call it what it is. So,
well, I must say, until I started listening to this album, because I heard this song in middle school, high school, and all that stuff, but it wasn't until I got the album on CD and then got on vinyl record. I was listening to it, and I did not realize that the cherry pie was not an actual cherry pie. So, but
anyway. No, indeed. We do not need to elaborate. I feel like most of my audience is old enough to understand that.
I'm not going any further. But
no, elaborate, but yes.
And I have to note that Melinda sent as well, which is obviously appreciated. And yeah, I love that album. And I'm actually, Chris, impressed on the fact that you even know that album because of how much you dislike hair metal and glam metal.
Well, see, I told you, it's not so much that I hate it completely. It's just that I feel like almost all of it sounds the same.
Okay.
And it's just one of those deals. But then again, how many people feel like jazz all sounds the same? So it just, I don't know. It's different strokes for different folks. I mean, it's nothing like I won't, if I walk into a house that's playing all 80s hair metal, I won't walk out like, screw this place, this music sucks. And I mean, yeah, it's just, if I'm picking my music, if I'm going through my record collection, I'm not likely to draw any of those records. So that's basically what it is. If the song comes on, I'll sing along to it, but I probably won't pick it.
Okay. And then my third favorite and most happy VCLT I got was one from you, actually, on top of many. I mean, quite frankly, you've blown me away with every VCLT, but the one I want to...
Oh, you got something coming better than that, but... Yeah, but to be...
I'm aware, based on what you've told me, when that package arrives, I'm very interested to see what's in there. But, there's two packages that really blow my mind from you. But I think I'm going to talk about the very first one you ever sent me, because that's the one that really caught me completely off guard. Because I remember where I was and everything when I got it. I was playing piano. This was during either a weekend or a winter break. I don't remember what it was. It was the first... And actually, it was the first week of December, so I must have either had a day off, a snow day, something. I don't know. Or it was one of the days I don't have classes because I'm college, don't have classes every day. So I'm playing piano. My mom comes home from work on her lunch break, and she says, "You got a package out here from a guy named Chris." And I was like, Chris who? And she said, "Your last name. I don't know if you want that on the internet, so I'm not going to say it out loud." But so she said who it was, and I was like, I don't know what this son of a gun did, but let's see what we got. So I open up the package. It has a very long, nice note talking about the friendship and how happy you are that you know me, this, that, and the other thing, and all the whole 9 yards. And then there's two records in there that are fantastic and I still listen to and love. The first one, John Coltrane's Ascension, second stereo press. I believe it's edition 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And Duke Ellington at Newport.
Yeah, man.
Those are some of my very first jazz records of the considered heat stuff. I had that Eddie and Les McCann album that I showed in the video that we did on my channel the other day, on top of, that was mainly, I might have had some Herb Alpert, Spiro Gyra, but really I didn't have much in the way of cooking. Well, actually, I don't have cooking. That's a different album I need to get one day, but that's beside the point. But yeah.
I'm getting ready to send you a box of better than those. So, but I'll let you save that for another video. So, yeah, let's just say I don't want to overhype my own package, but for one, I spoiled that. That's coming to you. I
already knew that one.
Yeah, I spoiled that, but that ain't even the best thing that you're getting in there. So, and a couple of original pressings too, by the way, just so you know.
Original? Oh,
yeah.
How many did you get? Multiple original pressings of some of these? What are you doing?
Well, because every now and then I upgrade from original stereo to original mono, as you all too well know. And I can get an original mono, I'll pass on the stereo unless the condition on the stereo is just better. And so I had two options: either sell these or pass them off to my good buddy Mike, who I know will appreciate them. And so I chose the latter. So you'll be getting them soon enough. No need to go and for everybody why it's been delayed. That's you and I. We know the answer to that. No reason to call of a stir or whatever. But yeah.
I'm obviously appreciative.
Oh yeah, and they're coming, and you're gonna love them, my friend. I promise you that. What or who inspired you to start making videos? And while you answer that, I'm gonna dig around for something in my room, but I am here. Go ahead and answer that.
Can you repeat that question one more time? I already forgot it.
I'm sorry. What or who inspired you to start making videos?
What or who inspired me to start making videos? All right. So, for those who don't know, my channel was originally just me and my musical performances. So I started this channel in 2011 to promote my music, or my channel. This is Chris's channel, but my channel. So pretty much how that went down was my dad would record my performances, and then I was like, I want to promote my music. I want to become a musician. I want to be a performer. I want to be on stage. I want to be doing all that. So I started posting my performance videos on there, and all that. And it got some traction. Some people were saying very nice things. Some were not so nice, and all that general jazz that you get with, putting yourself on the internet. And I would do that regularly. And at the time it was 2011. So I was just getting out of 8th grade, beginning of high school. We didn't want to put my name out there, hence mikeguitarplayer07. Now I don't care if you know my name. Michael Grushadel, whatever. My name's out there. And so I started making those videos and posting those videos. And then what ended up happening is Dylan at Noble Records. Well, first of all, I started watching VC videos eventually. And Dylan at Noble Records was one of the very first people who I ever watched on the VC. Chris from Tunes at the Man Cave was another one of them. Channel 33 RPM, Too Many Records, Vinyl Rewind. I was watching all these videos and discovering all these people. And I was subscribed. I was watching them. I think commenting. I can't remember. I made friends with all y'all, so I had to have been commenting at some point. And what ended up happening is Dylan over at Noble Records hit 750 subscribers. So I ended up wanting to join that contest. So I put my first vinyl record video. I believe it was November of 2017, I want to say. I think 2017, 2018.
Probably 2018, but yeah, that sounds about right.
And so I did that, and then that was the only VC video I had for a while. I posted a couple more performance videos, and then Channel 33 RPM challenged people to pull out 50 albums from your collection and spin them for the first time. Well, I said, well, heck, I want Channel 33 RPM, Frank Landry, great guy, love his stuff. I wanted him to see my 50 picks. So I made a video, posted online, sent it to him on Twitter or Instagram. I don't remember which, or maybe both, because I just wanted to grab his attention. I didn't realize how easily accessible he was at the time because of how many followers he had. I was like, oh my goodness, he's never going to see my stuff. But he's very personal. He will contact you back if you respond to him. Fantastic guy. So I did that in April of the next year. And then I was like, I don't know exactly what happened that caused me to continue doing it, but I just kind of continued after that. So now my channel is both a combination of my musical performance videos and vinyl record videos, and more commonly vinyl record videos because these come out a little bit more quicker because I take forever to perfect and feel comfortable enough to post stuff because I want to make sure I do it right. There's a couple things I want to perform and put out there for you guys, even because I can't, it's not like going to be one of my Stanhope House performances or one of my public performances. It's going to be in the comfort of my own home at this point, or maybe do it outside if it's not windy. But Chris even got a sample of one of the songs I'm in the process of learning yesterday. And yeah, that's pretty much how my channel became to be the VC and musical channel that it is today.
Awesome. Yeah, and I got to be honest, man, I don't know if I can think of, I'm not sure I can pinpoint a single video that I've ever done that you haven't commented on. So yeah, it's hard for me. And but I'd say definitely you and Melinda Murphy and my boy Dylan at Noble Records, probably my biggest fans, my biggest support system that I've ever had on this channel, on my channel. And I can't even begin to tell you guys how much I appreciate it. I mean, I really do. And I know you know how much I appreciate it. So thank you guys. Thank you all. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to, and it's actually interesting. There was only one time I ever missed a single video of yours, and I
Oh,
put it in I had it in my watch later, because when I can't watch something right away, I put it in my watch later. It got lost in my watch later. So literally it went about 3 months after you posted it that I didn't watch it. But I watched it 3 months later and commented on it. And it was your Tales from the Nightclub or whatever about Sonny Clark.
oh, cool. Okay.
Uh, but
I love doing the Tales from the Nightclub, but nobody watches them. But
I love those videos, but that's just me.
yeah.
But literally,
Just you. There's about 7 or 8 of you guys that love them, and then there's a lot of you guys that even started subscribing to my channel just based on those videos, but nobody else gives a shit, and it's sad. Everybody just wants to see a whole bunch of records, and yeah. And when you do those videos, it's more so of a story, but I'll do one of those videos and get 300 views, and then I'll do a video of random fights and get 1,000 views. So it's just okay, you guys would rather just see what it is I've been digging up than for me to actually teach you something. So
yeah. I like it all. So that's just me. And yes, you're very right, with the exception of the one thing I just said now, but I did see it eventually. I've seen every video, and I think I've commented on every single one.
I'm pretty sure you have, buddy. I won't even go back and look and double check on all that. I'm pretty sure you've been there from the beginning. And the funniest thing about my YouTube channel is I did this shit on a dare.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you know this, and some of you others know this, and Dylan definitely knows this. But Dylan had basically started up his channel and had dared myself and 2 of our other friends. Was hey, let's all start a channel. Let's just see what happens. I dare you and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, shit, sure, I'll make a video. Why not? And I made a video, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of fun, because coming up as a kid or a teenager or whatever, I'd kind of always being a disc jockey. And then I understood the older that I got that shit wasn't ever going to happen, because just the way the technology and everything was going, that career has basically been delegated to nothing. So, but it was hey, maybe this is my opportunity to kind of feel like I'm doing something like that. And I don't have to get paid. It can just be fun. And then I did 1 video, and then I did 2 videos, and I did 3 videos. And I've had plenty of haters along the way. I still get them every day. But I do. Just earlier today, I won't go into it. Yeah, I won't go into it. It doesn't matter. Fuck them. But I still get them every day. It doesn't matter. I literally don't even reply. I just delete. So, but anyway.
There was only really one that I remember you ranting to me about, and me and Noble Records both were looking at it. I'm just like, whoa. I think you even know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is way back when. This guy just would not quit.
And we don't need to go into details, but
yeah, I can't even remember what started it, but I tried to squash it with this guy. I can't even tell you how many times, and he just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. It was like, dude, you know what? Fuck you. You're blocked. You're blocked. I don't even want to see your name flash across my screen anymore. You're blocked. But yeah.
Yeah. So speaking about your aspirations to be a disc jockey and all that, that made me think about how you were telling the world on your channel how you used to do your own karaoke and regular mixtapes on your making your own DJ show. Did you ever, when you got your cassette deck, did you ever pull those cassettes out?
I still haven't dug those cassettes out yet. I got to go into my parents' attic. And anybody who knows anything about an attic, especially in the South, knows the following. Once it hits the attic, it's basically gone. Meaning maybe you can find it, but damn it, you better be ready to dig. And so it's just one of those things where I went up there and I looked around, and it was like, okay, I'm going to need some more time. And so I just haven't gotten around to it. So to my buddy John Galdieri from New Jersey, one of my 2 best New Jersey friends, if you're watching, cheers to you. Thank you for the cassette deck. It will indeed one of these days be used to play those old tunes from the Man Cave, before the Man Cave cassettes, when I was really embarrassing the piss out of myself, but not really. I was on myself pretty hard. And, hey, maybe I'll even put it on air for you guys someday. I ain't got nothing to lose. Screw it. But, yeah, but it'll happen one of these days. So, if you had to pick a favorite moment so far from your time in the YouTube VCLC, from the YouTube vinyl community, a favorite moment of yours from the time that you've been making videos. Just it could be anything from a video you've commented on, a video you've made yourself. If you could like break it all down to one moment that was your favorite from the time you've been making videos, what would you break it down to?
There's two things. One, the first one is not related to me specifically, but really there's two channels that I could think of in particular that I really loved seeing their reactions when they got their Grail records. The first one, it was very recently, Bill at the Vinylverse, like yesterday or the day before, posted one of his Grail video records that he got in a VCLT. And Emma at 8 Vinyl Low about a month or two ago got the same thing. I love seeing those reactions. So I love seeing that. But for me personally, with my videos, on top of the engagement of talking to people and getting to hear back from people when people comment, I think that some of my favorite times are doing these collab videos. I'm telling you, when I posted a video of me and Dylan over that Record Spinner, that collab, I love doing the videos I do. I love doing all the response threads and seeing people's reactions and what they think about my thoughts and all that stuff. But really, these collab videos are probably some of my favorites that I've ever done.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I've only done, this will be my second so far. They've both been you. But I wouldn't have gotten started with any other person, buddy, just so you know. These have been a blast. And now that I know about this technology, even after all this Rona's and done this dirt, I'd still like to keep doing this because I got to tell you, before all this came to pass, there were so many of you guys that I thought to myself, I'd love to do a video with these people, but how will I ever arrange it? Like, it's like, I'd love to do a video with you, or I'd love to do a video with Melinda Murphy, or I'd love to do a video with Chris Has the Spins, or I'd love to do a video with Bill at the Vinylverse, or a video with Mazzy, or a video with Steve Carlson. But it's like, that's plane tickets, that's accommodations, that's everything. How do I do this shit? And then ever since that Rona came, now everybody's like, well, Zoom's got this Office app. And then all you have to do, and by the way, it's free. What? Okay. And so we could have been doing this shit the whole time. And I had no idea because, you think about it. We hadn't really seen these collab videos or whatnot via this app, if you will. Until COVID-19. So it's just, yeah. So, hell, if I could only think of one positive thing at all that came from it, it's like, hey, I might be able to keep talking to you guys on the regular now that I've found out about all this shit. Thank you, by the way. Because I had seen so many of these videos. I was like, how in the hell are these guys doing this shit?
Yeah, I'm telling you, COVID-19 is both killing people and bringing people together.
At the same time, yeah. So,
it's sad, and it's mainly sad, but good. I like to think on the positive side of life, as Monty Python liked to say. It's painful what it's going on, but gotta think positively, like what we're doing now.
Right. Yeah. I try my best. I do. I try my best to be an optimist. I do. But it don't always work. But I've actually known firsthand 2 or 3 people who've actually gone through COVID-19. So it hits a little more personal for me. Like I know these people. Like these people are friends of mine. So, but no name dropping, no nothing like that. They wouldn't want that, and I wouldn't want to do that to them. But
nope.
For your information or for anybody else's information, they're doing great. They've gotten past the symptoms. Things are looking great. They did the responsible thing. They started feeling the symptoms. They got tested. They quarantined themselves for 2 weeks, and everything's looking great. So they did the responsible thing, which is what everybody else should be doing. But anyway, I got another one because I always love the shout outs in the vinyl community. I think I've asked you 9 questions so far, if I'm not mistaken. But number 10, 1 to 3 channels you'd highly recommend in the vinyl community. And for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. They don't have to be, oh my God, popular. They don't have to be, oh my God, trendy, oh my God, popular. Just ones that you think deserve some shine, deserve some attention.
Because I always shout out the same ones. But some people who I really think deserve some mention is David Newton on Slightly Vinyl. He does a combination of
super nice guy, by the way.
Yes, he most certainly is. Combination of vinyl record stuff and movie related stuff. He's just great. Love what he does. There's him. I always shout out my girl Emma at 8 Vinyl Low, but I got to do it. She's the one who got me deeper into Cheap Trick and pretty much got everybody deeper into Cheap Trick into VC. And, you know, she's just great. Talk to her almost as much as you talk to Dylan over at Noble Records. We have a group chat of a couple people in the VC. We're talking daily. It's great. And, you know, another one who I would like to shout out, even though this individual has a significant following, but, you know, I see her comment section in her videos and she doesn't have people are not commenting for whatever reason. I'm kind of surprised. Marikan Lehman. I love her channel. She does so many great things. She has over 1,000 subs. I think even more than that, but I see her comments in her videos. There's not a lot of comments for whatever reason. So I don't know what's going on with her channel, but I think that she deserves more comments and more love based on the subscribers that she has. So, you know, so there's my 3.
Oh, that last one was one that was really awesome to me because you said over 1,000 subs, but not really any comments.
Yeah, I don't understand because there will be times where I don't always get the videos right away, but like after 5 hours of a video, having 1,000 plus subscribers, there should be more than 3 comments before mine.
Usually, yeah, so. Yeah, you would think so. Unless I've got over 1,000, and for me, unless I just tackle the oh my god not popular topic, I can usually expect to have at least 3 comments within the first hour. I mean, honestly, I mean you'll usually be one of them, and then I mean so, but yeah, so for having over 1,000 subs, that's a surprise. That is.
Yeah, it bothers me. I mean, it's not even my channel, and it bothers me. So, but.
Yeah, usually I tend to, as the person who makes the videos, I tend to look at it more so as the people who leave the most sincere comments and all those people who are like, hey, yo, man, you got me into jazz. And hey, man, I love these recommendations. Can you recommend me some more? And those people who don't do it once, but do it twice. And then I've got people who DM me on Instagram every other day, still into it because they saw a jazz video that I did way back in the day, like 2 years ago, that are still like messaging me every other day about records. And it's like, wow, that's what makes it worth it for me.
And even like what I was telling you yesterday in the video I did, you got me into it deeper. I was the one messaging you every freaking day. And then just recently I got Rachel the Music Man, a similar list and my own personal picks on top of what you had recommended me for the start on it. So I sent it her way. So you passed the torch to me and I patched it onto there. And then you on me personally obviously gave me all these recommendations. And now you don't hear me asking you for recommendations often anymore because you've told me so much that I'm hitting the ball rolling myself on top of seeing your videos and what your recent acquisitions. So I'm like, oh, like yesterday. I remembered about Joe Henderson's In and Out for the first time in I don't know how long because I was like, I knew about it. It's one of the most iconic Blue Note album covers. But I was just like, I forgot about it until I talked to you on the video we did yesterday.
So good. So good. But I don't know if there's anything else, my buddy, that you feel like talking about or any records that you feel like showing off. You got any recent acquisitions or anything like that? Kind of hard to acquire anything this day and age, but
well, the thing is,
I acquire a few.
Yeah, I literally just put everything that is new on my shelf. I guess I'm gonna give another shout out in the process of pulling out this record because this is one of the coolest, more recent acquisitions I've received. Depeche Mode Spirit.
Okay.
Most people don't think of Depeche Mode when they think of me or my channel or my musical taste.
Your taste is pretty eclectic, so I don't put it past you at all.
I mean, fair, but most people might not think of it because New Wave, I don't know a lot of New Wave. I got my uncle's collection, some of it, so now I know a whole lot more, and I'm loving it. But I'm telling you, my uncle and my mother got me into Depeche Mode. And this is one of my 3 favorite Depeche Mode albums. This is a 2017 release, Spirit. The other ones being 2009 Sounds of the Universe and the early 90s release Violator. And Hannah at Omaha Introvert sent me this my way, and I was very excited to have it. This is one of my favorite recent acquisitions.
Oh, yeah, she's awesome.
So, yeah, I guess that's what I would say for a recent cool acquisition. It's kind of hard because as soon as everything goes out of my recent acquiry bin and now is on my shelves, I kind of forget about what were the new things unless I go back and watch my videos.
Dude, what are you telling me? I mean, I haven't. Yeah, I clean them, discogs them, lo-fi sleeve them, put them on the shelf, and then a lot of times I just completely forget that they're there until somebody brings it up, or until I finally have time to listen. But yeah, I can absolutely relate to that.
I'll pull out one more on the vinyl realm that I just thought of now while we were talking here. People know in the VC know I have a soft spot for Broadway soundtracks. And if you don't, welcome. I have a soft spot for Broadway soundtracks. Now,
if you don't know, now you know.
Yes. This is a recent acquisition I was given in a collection because I didn't have to buy this collection. This is a family friend that just wanted to give me their collection. So I was, okay, cool. I really enjoyed getting Annie Get Your Gun. This is a reissue of the album. However, it is still the original Broadway cast from the 1940s. It was originally released on like Shellac Records on Decca. Then MCA did a version of it, and then I believe this is a second MCA version. But it's still the original Broadway cast version with Ethel Merman. And I forget who the guy was at the moment. Who was the guy who played? I can't remember at the moment. I'm not finding it quickly enough. But this is something that Ivan Berlin wrote in 1947, if I'm not mistaken. This Broadway show is recorded and released. So good stuff. So, yeah, those are some of the cool new acquisitions if I had to pull out two off the top of my head.
All right. Well, I got I shared these with you yesterday in a preview before we did your video. One of them has already been shown in the context, but Forest Silver and the Jazz Messengers, original mono on Blue Note. That's kind of a big deal. My boy Mike over here has got a second press, which is still a big deal. Lifetime by Anthony Williams.
Oh, yeah.
That's original mono pressing. It's also a big deal. It's freaking killer. And one that's a little lesser known, but oh my God, still stellar. Teddy Edwards, Nothing But the Truth. It's on Prestige.
Oh, yeah, these are the ones that you pulled out yesterday and showed me, yeah.
Yeah, I showed these to you before we went on the air. So, yeah, but got Walter Davis Jr., Paul Chambers is on it, Billy Higgins. I mean, so a lot of Blue Note artists all over this bad boy. So these are three, because, I mean, I'm not getting records at nearly the same volume that I was last year. But I started out the year strong. The first couple of months, I got some real serious heat. But then everybody basically got locked down and everything. And so it's kind of
I'll tell you. I went into the year going, I'm not buying much in the way of records. I want to start enjoying what I have. Not that I don't, but we as collectors, we get so much in. We listen to the record that we got one or two times and shelve it, and we're on to the new thing. So I went into this year being like, okay, I want to enjoy what I have. Now I have no other option. However, in January and February, I was either given a whole bunch of records by people or I was just nailing gold, like I said in Arizona, with the handful of Johnny Cash albums and various other things I got. So the stuff I got this year is pretty much completely all killer, no filler, which is something I cannot always say for my collection. I mean, I always enjoy what I have. There's a reason they're here, but it's not all killer, no filler. I mean, I have a ton of Johnny Mathis albums. First of all, because he's my favorite crooner. And second of all, I find them in a dollar bin half the time, original pressings a lot of the time. Do I listen to him and enjoy him? Yeah. But I wouldn't consider every single one of his albums all killer, no filler. Seals and Crofts. I love Seals and Crofts, but they're not my daily driver. I wouldn't consider them. I wouldn't necessarily call them killer. I wouldn't call them filler either. They're just like that in between. You know what I mean?
All of them a greatest hits band.
Yeah. For Seals and Crofts, I want a little bit more than greatest hits, but I would not disagree with anybody who says that.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I've spent, as you know, and as most of my subscribers and followers know, I've spent the last couple of years like really trying to focus on getting my collection down to what I would consider, not what anybody else would consider, but what I would consider all killer, no filler. And for me, if what you consider to be all killer is Johnny Mathis and Herb Alpert, and then I don't knock on anybody. I mean, for me, the people who sit back and make fun of everybody's records and record collections and everything like that, they're douchebags. You need some more substance in your life. You just do. If this person's records didn't cost you any money, they didn't cost you any time, they didn't cost you any inconvenience. Just sit back and enjoy what the hell it is you have, and worry about what it is you've got, and stop worrying about what it is everybody else has and what everybody else has got. And I think the vinyl community will go forward appropriately, because it's just, I've got Herb Alpert records in my collection. I do. I can reach back here if I look hard enough and find a couple. So,
As can I, except I know exactly where they are. I don't have to thumb through. But I mean, I'll never forget this, and this is stuck with me ever since you've told me this. Because I remember, and I'm going to show the record that I said this with. I said, "You're never going to believe the guilty pleasure record I just recently got." And you're like, "Mike, there ain't no such thing as a guilty pleasure. If you like it, you like it."
That's right. Nothing.
That's stuck with me ever since. And then you were like talking about Britney Spears and all that stuff. I like Britney Spears just as much as you do. You grew up a little bit more with it than me. I remember hearing it on the radio back in the backseat of Mom's old car when I was a couple years old and all that stuff. Britney Spears Hit Me Baby, or Oops, I Did It Again is turning 20 years old in this summer, which blows my mind.
Way to make me feel old, Mike.
No, but I'm telling you, like, I remember hearing this in the backseat of the car, so it makes me feel just as old as you. But the thing is, perfect example is this album. No one's ever seen this album in my collection, but it's the best of Hannah Montana. Like, for nostalgic reasons, I love the music. I know the music, and it's actually funny because my sister got a turntable recently within the past year, and she's actually spun this more than I have. But
you brought up your sister, because I know Hannah Montana because of my sister. My sister, as I know you know, and some of you may know, my sister's 11 years younger than me. I'm 35. My sister's 24. So because of that, my sister grew up on the Lizzie McGuire and the Hannah Montana and everything like that. So she watched all that. I watched it with her, because as the big brother, oftentimes I'm babysitting and whatnot, and we watched it together. And I like all that shit. It's nostalgic to me, and I don't knock anybody who's got it. I don't. Yeah. And so I could throw that Hannah Montana that you just showed on right now with my sister, and she and I would make a complete ass of ourselves all night long to this day singing it. So it's, I mean, there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. You either like it or you don't like it, and then the people that want to judge you for liking it or don't liking it can suck a dick. And that's on my channel, and I'm not editing it out, so you don't even have to worry about the pressure of it. I got it. So.
Okay, I would never said. That's one of the things I wouldn't have said on my channel, even though I do let some things fly sometimes on my channel. But that's not one I would have said. I would have said fuck themselves, but
I know you wouldn't have. But I'll say it on mine, and I'm not going to. So, but yeah, that's how I feel about that. And you can leave your snide comments. You can do whatever you want to do. I don't give a damn. It doesn't matter. For the most part, I know most of the people that view my channel will admire me for it and will commend me for it. And even if you don't, it doesn't matter to me. I don't do these videos for the 2 or 3 condescending assholes. I do these videos for all the dozens and hundreds of loyal supporters and music fans that actually watch these videos. So that's the 2 or 3 trolls can kiss my ass. Everybody else, you guys are who I do these videos for.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other records I can think of to pull at the moment in regards to cool acquisitions or guilty pleasures, because we spoke of, we were talking about all killer, no filler stuff a little bit ago. And, I've weeded down my collection to stuff that I wasn't really listening to or didn't really care about that much anymore. And, for the most part, even though I said that there's like those semi-killer, no filler, but not like in between stuff like seals and troughs. Excuse me, that beard is getting to me now. I'm just burping it all up now. What'd you say?
You amateur.
Hey, at least I'm not sucking margaritas.
Well, I've already had about 3 of them, and they're empty, and now I'm drinking beer.
But
My wife made those margaritas, sir. You take that back.
you got to get the margarita into your life.
Oh, this margarita's fucking good, dude. I'm just saying. But anyway, you want to have my margaritas, and now I'm drinking a very masculine named beer by the name of Pinky Ring Bling. Yes, that's the name of the beer, Pinky Ring Bling, out of Southern Range Brewing in I believe Monroe, North Carolina. So
okay.
Yeah.
I'm just flipping through this bin that's in front of me that you can't see on camera real quickly to see if there's anything in here. And then if there's nothing in here, I think that's about all I got to show, unless you want to show something. You know what? Actually, I'm going to show this because I don't even know if I ever told you. This is another record I got because of you.
Dude, I freaking love that record.
This is an original mono.
I had an original mono pressing of that one at Repo Record in Charlotte, North Carolina, 3 or 4 years ago. And my buddy Take Me to Birch, as I know you at least know the name, was with me at the time, and he's also a big Wilson Pickett fan. But he didn't know the underlyings of the shop the way I know them, which is you check the wall first because all that stuff's going to be on the wall. And he went to the new arrivals. I went to the wall. And I came down with that one, and he came out with, and I didn't even tell him. And then he came out with 3 or 4 like basic. I mean, good stuff, but basic stuff. And we're checking out, and I like lay that out in front of him, that same record right there out in front of him, and scoot to the side where he could see it. He goes, "You son of a bitch!"
That's Josh, right?
Yeah, the guy behind the counter was laughing. He goes, "Where did you find that?" I said, "Right up there." Pointed up there on the wall. I said, "Man, that's where it's at." I said, I thought that you knew that, but yeah, he was mad at me, and then he was like joking with me. He's like, "I hope that on the way back home, I hope we get into a car accident, and I hope that the only thing that's damaged is that record, and I hope it like sets on fire, and I hope that we are okay and the car is okay, but that record like burst into flames." I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" But none of that happened.
No. Yeah, this is an original mono as well. What's the name of the album that he has a pink suit on, and it's the 2000 Dances or whatever song?
The Sounds of Wilson Pickett, or the exciting Wilson Pickett.
Oh, Exciting Wilson Pickett, because this is a sound of. So
yeah, I think it's the exciting Wilson Pickett. Exciting Wilson Pickett. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's the one I really want. That one.
Oh.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got to show.
All right, awesome. It's been a great night catching up with you, buddy. As for those of you watching my channel who don't subscribe to Mike at mikeguitarplayer07, I'll provide a link in the description. But he and I did a video for his channel last night, which is already going live. Tell them about the name of the video. What's the name of the video, Mike?
Tunes, Brews, and Moles.
There you go. And so it's he and I having a couple of brews, talking about some tunes and shouting out our boy Matt at Mazzy's Music. And it's a great video, and it's live now for you guys. And this video will be live here shortly. But if you don't follow Mike, you don't subscribe to Mike, I would highly recommend that you do so. And I'm positive this won't be the last time that he and I link up. We have far too much fun doing this to not do it again. So I'm sure this is coming again. So unless Mike, do you have anything else to add?
No, pretty much just thanks for having me on.
All right, man. Awesome. Thank you for having me first, and thank you for introducing me to the idea. For those of you going through all this craziness or whatever, for those of you who've been laid off from your jobs, stay strong. If you're into praying or whatever, pray. If you're into hoping, whatever, I mean, just do so. For those of you who have the means to help out those in your community, please do so. For those of you essentials, which I'm deemed one myself, that are still punching the clock every day, just like you always did, stay safe, put your work in, do your job, social distance, wash your hands, do everything you're supposed to do. Love your family, love your community, and this goes for everybody. Just stay as safe as you can. Take this shit seriously, because the sooner we take all of this serious, the sooner we can all go back to getting back to normal, the more likely it is that we can all enjoy a day in June. Because I got to tell you, if it don't get no better, I got to say that's going to probably be rescheduled again. So just take this shit serious. Let's get through it. And everybody just love each other from a distance, care for each other, check in on each other, and stop hoarding all the damn toilet paper. And I think we're all going to be okay. And until next time, until next video, keep dropping that needle, you guys.